This basket has been rocking for over 8 minutes so far, and I have decided to video it because I can't explain why it continues.
In this video, a bright object is following the Perseverance rover. We may have found evidence of alien life in the form of lichen, and we are digging for actual Martian jewels. Meanwhile, Ingenuity performs an emergency landing and loses contact with NASA. The rover currently sits on the edge of the Belva crater and investigates sediments from ancient streams. Some of these sediments have proven to crumble very easily. The long-term plan for Perseverance is to explore Neretva Vallis, which looks like an ancient riverbed. Water spilled out into the delta from this river, filling much of the Jezero crater. Some of the boulders in this area are very strange. This one is cracked in half. It was likely brought here by fast-flowing water. This rock shows signs of weathering, making the shape of a face with two eyes and a mouth. Perseverance takes a closer look. It's possible some of these boulders came from tens of kilometers away. On Sol 802, the team at NASA orders the rover to take a drill sample. Perseverance records the operation, which takes about 20 minutes. You can see the rover's shadow moving with the sun. Something else to note here is a rock the Perseverance drove over, creating a fine imprint in the sand. Throughout the 20-minute operation, we can see the action of the wind moving small particles in sand. This camera provides a better view of the drilling itself. Perseverance looks at the drill site, and the team is desperately trying to get a visual of the sample in the sample tube. Unfortunately, the sample is not intact, and only about 1.3 centimeters was retrieved successfully. Perseverance tries again, this time on the abrasion spot. Similarly, the rock crumbles too easily. The rover looks out at the Belva crater before moving 20 meters to another intriguing site. Perseverance examines its new surroundings with a high-definition mosaic. Sedimentary layers can be seen poking out of the rock face. The rover drives a short distance to get another look at these layers. You can see the rover tracks in the foreground. The rocks here have proven too crumbly, but the team desperately wants to sample this type of rock. A site known as Emerald Lake is chosen for the next sample attempt. On Sol 821, the rover comes across some extraordinary rocks. They appear to have been carved out by some geological process. This one has the shape of a humanoid mouth. These strange formations are likely due to a process known as cavernous weathering. This smaller rock is an excellent example of cavernous weathering. It's the process of how caves form on Earth. On Earth, cavernous weathering often occurs by water action, where debris in the water is trapped in currents, carving out rocks over time. These rocks are further possible indications of past huge water flows in this area. The rover reaches Emerald Lake after a short drive. The layering here is precisely what the team at NASA wants to sample. Hopefully, this time, it's manageable. Perseverance records the drilling. The sample is pictured immediately and found to be intact. Finally, a success for the rover. The team names the sample tube Otis Peak. These fragile rocks are essential because they are known as conglomerates. Suppose we get these samples back to Earth. In that case, they can indicate when Mars lost its magnetic field, which is of utmost importance for life to evolve. Just as the rover finishes its science activities and photographs its surroundings, something strange happens. Communication with Earth is lost. The rover has entered safe mode 4 times since its landing, but usually resumes contact within 3 days. Worryingly, it takes a long 5 days before contact is reestablished.
Can't believe this thing
While
is
the
still
engineers
going.
at NASA try to determine what caused this communication dropout, the rover returns to work, capturing an image of its recent drill site. With this successful sample, Perseverance and the science team plan to drive to a location known as Snowdrift Peak. However, the rover sees something strange in the distance. This
Just
rock
so
over
that
the rock
everybody
appears
knows,
to have a hole going through it.
there's nothing touching this thing.
Perseverance uses its super
And it's
camera
still
to get a
going.
better view.
6 minutes
This
later.
rock is likely another
And I
example
had
of
already
cavernous
watched it
weather.
for 8 minutes before this.
Perseverance begins to drive away from the Emerald Lake site onward to Snowdrift Peak. There is a hope among NASA team members that the rover can get back in touch with Ingenuity, which has been out of range for quite some time. On Sol 836, Perseverance comes across another example of cavernous weathering. This rock has been carved
Definitely
out
strange.
exceptionally well.
Anybody have any suggestions?
The rover
What
reaches
might make
Snowdrift
this
Peak
happen?
after a short drive and takes a look around. In the distance, we can see the beauty of the sloping hills of the Jezero crater wall. There are many exciting rocks in this location, possibly yet more.
I realize it's not moving a lot, but
Once we head further
it
up
should
river,
stop.
we may encounter
Normally
a
it
field
would
big enough
stop
for the rover to poke its camera in.
after a couple seconds. This is the strangest thing I've ever
Due to the
seen.
amount of sharp and potentially
Just
dangerous
keeps
rocks,
going
the team
and
at NASA
going.
asked Perseverance to record a bottom view during its next short drive. This sequence shows how good the autonomous driving software is, selecting a route with few obstacles, surrounded by a minefield of potential dangers. The drive takes about 16 minutes in real time. The rover looks out over the rugged landscape. From its current position and the expected position of Ingenuity, Perseverance should be able to contact the helicopter. But nothing breaks the silence. The rover can see no evidence of the helicopter. The team at NASA is feeling uneasy. What has happened to Ingenuity? The rover continues working at Snowdrift Peak, feeling lonely without a friend. On Sol 843, the rover captures something incredible, a bright object on the Martian surface. We've seen something like this before, way back on Sol 467. It's likely a piece of spacecraft debris called multi-layered insulation from the sky crane, which flew away and crashed after Perseverance touched down. But why does it seem to be following the rover? We established in a previous episode that this piece of debris is now moving with the wind. But could it have traveled nearly 3 kilometers up over
This
the
thing is
delta?
still
Or
moving.
is this another piece altogether?
Don't touch nothing.
The shape and size of both objects are similar, so even though it's unlikely, it may be the very same piece. If it's not the same piece, then it shows just how far the debris was ejected when the crash landing happened. On Sol 845, the rover
This is close to 8 minutes plus 9 minutes now. That's 17 minutes. This thing has just not stopped.
The boulders were deposited here by a more robust water system than the one that deposited the pebbles. Because the boulders sit on top of the smaller rocks and pebbles, the team believes this more powerful water system was much more recent than initially thought. Perseverance passes an exciting rock that the team at NASA names Dragon's Egg.
Do you think the bananas are possessed?
The rover is instructed to gather up-close images known as proximity
Something isn't right. This is not
It's
normal.
not real. If you put on the map, you'll maybe not move.
Perseverance attempts to
If I put the bananas in the middle,
identify
don't touch
the
nothing.
of its work.
It doesn't matter where the
Unfortunately,
bananas
the
are.
operation was unsuccessful and the rock was
The
too
bananas
high.
cannot
You can see the
make
rock
this thing
cracks
keep moving.
Those microjoule slipped during the abrasion. The rover takes a break from its rock work and looks westward toward the towering crater rim. This is a stunning image because we can see the vast walls of the Jezero crater on each side of the ancient river system which carved its way. For now, we can only dream of the images the rover will capture when it ventures into the ancient riverbed. Unless you're from the future, in which case, keep watching the episode. The rover tries to perform an ablation task once again on the Dragon's Egg rock. It starts by using its gases just removal tools.
Maybe that's the key to perpetual motion is you need bananas.
Perseverance gets some forms of remedy. Given green speed, the rover has to re-gear in Halloween morning. The rover gets busy trying to use its ablation tool once again. This time, the operation is recorded. After checking the tool for damage, the team asked Perseverance to photograph the patch. The operation went a little smoother this time, but the patch is still not as deep as usual. You can see the bright tailings from the abrasion, which have also littered the surface of Mars. While looking at the patch, the team spots something strange. It's a dark circular mark